Good evening, subscribers and fans, and welcome to Mattsquatch Presents, brought to you by The Paranormal. Hello, everybody. Hope you're having a wonderful evening. Mattsquatch here. Tonight, we're going to continue on with our series about the different types of Bigfoots and what people are seeing. Now, I've heard a lot of reports. I've done a lot of research online from researchers and enthusiasts, and from eyewitness reports that I've heard or been listening to and doing research on for years and years. The type 2 is also known as a wood booger, kind of your classic southern Bigfoot. What people always tell you, the booger man will get you, the boogie man will get you, don't stay out at night, the boogers will get you. Well, this is kind of what they talk about in the South, and I think it's very interesting. They're reported to be not quite as big as the type 1s, have a little more of a rounded head, and be much more chimpanzee-like. People describe it as, well, it looked like a big chimp. It looked like an upright walking chimp. Now, when I say big, I mean they probably get 7, 8, 9 feet tall at the most, versus the patties. Type 1s, there's reports of them getting 10, 11, 12 feet tall. So I think they still have the propensity to be very big and very large and very dangerous. And much like a chimpanzee, I think they also have a very big curious side to them, to where they could be aggressive and excitable like a chimpanzee, but very curious, which I think is a sign of intelligence. These are the ones that I think steal food and peep through windows the most. So the reason why I have a bear photo up there is to kind of, in my mind, if the type 1s are a grizzly bear, the type 2s are a black bear. They fill similar ecological niches. They can be found in some of the same areas. Type 1s are often found with type 2s sometimes, but the grizzly bears really get a lot higher elevation or a lot more rugged. And the black bears don't get quite as big and not quite as aggressive, but I don't think that's necessarily the case. I think the type 2s are more aggressive. But I just think, to compare it to another animal, a black bear is a great example compared to a grizzly bear versus a type 2 and a type 1. Now, since they do resemble chimpanzees and have a lot of their behavior, I figured we'd look at chimpanzees here for a minute. Chimpanzees for a long time were thought to be vegetarians. They eat fruit, vegetables, and only once in a while would they actually eat, like a mouse or a rodent or something like that. Well, in the last few years it's changed. They found that chimpanzees do hunt and hunt quite a bit. And when there is a large amount of fruit available, they still hunt. In fact, they hunt even more versus times when they don't have as much food available. So just to let you know, we got a couple pictures of nature here. If you're squeamish about blood or graphic stuff, or you got little ones watching, probably don't want them to watch right now. So here we have a group of chimpanzees that killed a smaller monkey. Now, smaller not by relatively that much, but this was from a documentary, and they killed it, and then they broke it up, and then they're handing parts out to the rest of the troop. Here's an arm, here's a leg, here's a foot, and they killed it for fun, and then they pretty much ate it. They really enjoyed the hunt. I don't know if it's out of boredom or like a cat and mouse, but to me this shows that if chimpanzees can kill a smaller ape for sport, food, or whatever, they can kill us human, which is smaller. Now here you have, this was really interesting, I found this, was a troop of chimpanzees killed and attacked the alpha who had been in charge for years, killed him and ate him, passed him around so the younger chimps could spread their DNA and expand their territory. And you really don't want to be the alpha, because in a few years when you get a little bit older or enough of them rise up, they're going to kill you and pull you apart, which is pretty brutal behavior. Most people think of chimpanzees as being nice or cute, but they're really not. They're pretty terrible. So the reason why I have this photo up there is to show you that a lot of times these things are seen at night. I know most Bigfoots are nocturnal. I think it's really depending on where they are and how close they are to humans. The South being heavily populated and around for years, I think you're going to see these things, the type 2s anyway, generally be more nocturnal because they can move around. Humans are out and hunting during the day. They have their chance to move around at night. And the wood booger, I found this map of what do you consider part of the South, and I thought it was actually a pretty good representation of where you're probably going to find type 2s. You might find them also in Utah and Nevada and California, maybe in the lower elevations. But I think this is a pretty good representation of the South, where these things have seen. Florida, that may or may not, the skunk ape may or may not be a type 2 or a subspecies or something else. We'll probably look at that in another video. But this is a pretty good representation of the map, the highlighted areas of where people are seeing them. I know this map has nothing to do with Bigfoot, but I thought it was a pretty good correlation. Now, if you want to hear classic type 2 behavior, you can look in East Texas, the Sam Houston National Forest and the Sabine National Forest. All around those areas, bordering on Louisiana. I guess there's reported to be type 1s and type 2s here, but a lot more type 2s. Also the Mogollon Rim in Arizona, the pretty famous Mogollon monster, an aggressive variant of Bigfoot, is reported to be very much type 2-like. Now, most people think of Arizona as desert, but it has a lot of green areas around the Grand Canyon and some really beautiful red rock meets the trees type stuff. But there's plenty of elk, plenty of deer, plenty of animals, and you could see how a large ape like that could, or Bigfoot, whatever you want to call them, could make a very good living up there, especially if they're a hunter. And there's a lot of mountains that are sparsely populated, and they've been seen there for years. Anyway, that's just a quick profile. I'd like to say thank you very much. Please like and subscribe, and pass this along if you like this video. Have a nice weekend. Thank you.